Hey gang, this is Carl White, and you are listening to the Author Showcase powered by the Scotsman Guide. And great to have you here. So, what we do on each one of these episodes is we do a deep dive into one of the authors for this month's publication in the Scotsman's Guide. And today we are talking to Rich Leffler. And so Rich wrote a great article. It's in the residential issue, but there's a commercial issue and a residential issue. This was the residential in December. It's called Build a One-Stop Shop. So first of all, Rich, great to have you here, brother. And where are you located at, first of all?
Thanks, Carl. It's great to be here. I'm actually located out of southeastern North Carolina in a great town called Wilmington.
I know exactly where Wilmington is. It's
Wow.
one of my favorite cities in the nation. It's a beautiful
Great
area.
place, I'm telling you. Great food, great beaches, great people. Can't say enough positive things about Wilmington.
All right, great. And so the article was entitled Build a One-Stop Shop. Give us a 30,000-foot view. What exactly was this article about?
There was actually two reasons why I wanted to write this article. There are two perspectives I came from. Number one, how to help mortgage professionals, especially in this competitive market that we're in, how to help mortgage professionals stand apart from their competition and provide extra added value to their customers. But in addition to that, I wanted to kind of make it as a warning about things not to do and the downfalls of not properly vetting the people and service providers who loan originators recommend. So there's a whole aspect of how this could help someone to become a better, more popular, more successful loan originator. And then the other aspect, of course, is what to avoid doing or what to make sure you do to avoid the pitfalls.
All right, very good. So, so in it, you talked about building a network of referral partners. Who are these people?
These are people that would be of service to the customer. The mortgage professional is obviously going to service the customer by providing them with the most appropriate financing that best meets their needs and wants. But customers, whether they're buying a home, let's leave it with people more like those who are buying a home. Those who are refinancing are pretty much established for the most part. There are things that can be done to help those customers. But let's talk about your home buyers. A lot of times they're moving into the area. They don't know the area. They don't know who to turn to for basic services. So I'm not just talking about recommending real estate partners, title companies, which is all good and should be something that the mortgage professional is able to do. But it goes beyond that. Who can they access? What information can they access to find the best doctors, the best pet care, the best veterinarians, the best, who knows, whatever, schools? Anything that someone would need, think of it, they should think of it if they were moving into a new neighborhood. What would be helpful to them in finding the services that they would need just to establish a new life in a new area? And if a loan originator can provide this added value by recommending other service providers or providers that of these services that are needed, that could help that loan originator stand apart from his or her competition. And create loyalty. Loyalty is key. The idea is you want to create customers who will come back to you and want to refer to you, right?
Yeah. So we're talking like maybe even as far as air conditioning companies, if you need your air conditioner, roofing companies,
lawn care, landscaping, anything that would be a homeowner's need.
I like that.
And you're only limited as far as your imagination. So you can be as creative as you want to be in ascertaining this network of referral people.
So I hear what you're saying, and it sounds like a great idea. How would I get started with something like that? So if I go, well, I need to find an air conditioning company and maybe a family attorney, hopefully not a divorce attorney at this point, right?
Hopefully not,
hopefully. But like what's the first, where do I start on this? Do I contact them? How do I vet them to make sure they're a good representation of me? Where do I start?
Those are great questions. Well, you're going to want to do your research from ground zero, whether it's looking in online for local professionals in your area, talking with others who might have people to recommend, and just building the resources almost from scratch, because every person you meet can always recommend something. You can look at, when you look online, look at the reviews, but then you have to go a step beyond. If I was looking for, let's say, an attorney, and I was going to recommend this attorney, I'm not just going to go online and find a 5-star attorney who has a lot of reviews. I'm going to want to talk with that individual. I'm going to want to make sure they're a good fit. And vetting the individual is so, so important. And that kind of segues me into the other aspect of why I wrote the article, How to Protect Yourself. The other aspect of the article that I wrote was how to protect yourself. And by
What do you mean by that?
by vetting the person you recommend, you're
Okay.
going to ensure that they're not necessarily going to destroy your reputation by providing poor service. Because you're actually, when a professional recommends someone, that person or that company or that firm that they recommend, is it actually an extension of themselves from a professional image? And I could give you a great example, if I may. So years ago, when I was a loan originator working for a mortgage company out of Maryland, I was approached by a title company that really wanted me to recommend them to prospective borrowers. And I agreed to hear them out and listen to what they had to say. And they wanted to meet with me in my office. And I knew right away that that was not going to fly. If I'm going to meet them, I want to meet them on their terms. So I made an appointment to travel to their offices to meet with them. And I could go through a whole laundry list of things that made me very happy that I did do exactly that, starting with they were late. The office was unprofessional in appearance. They were disorganized. There was a lot of, I'm not going to go into the details, but let's just say that if I had recommended a customer to this title company and they actually had that customer come in and this customer experienced what I experienced, but on a more personal level, because this is their home, right? That not only could have caused a negative experience to that customer, but it would have reflected poorly on me because I recommended that service provider. So vetting the service provider, meeting with them face to face. I know everything is done digitally and virtually nowadays, but we need to meet face to face because that's the human connection. And that's how we really sense whether or not someone is going to work for us, and recommend those who we feel good about. And by doing that, it's an extension on yourself, and it's going to not guarantee, but highly likely lead to a very positive experience for the customer.
Yeah. So what I'm hearing you say is checking them out on Yelp, checking out their Google reviews. I mean, these days, vetting somebody online is pretty easy to do, and frankly, doesn't take that long. And then what I'm hearing you say is, assuming it's a local company, actually go down there and meet with them, make sure they're not operating a zoo in the waiting room, kind of thing.
And they know what to do. Your research also. I mean, if you come across a company and you can physically visit them, please do just that. If for some reason you can't, maybe they're a distance away, at least set up a face-to-face virtual meeting. And remember, people are going to put forth their best foot forward, right? They're going to try to make the best impression. So you really have to look between the lines. You want to see if there's something that doesn't seem right. Pursue it. Because again, you are who you recommend.
Yeah. And I guess in the process of doing all this, not only are you serving your customer, right, with helping them with an air conditioning company, what's that conversation like with the air conditioning company or with the title company that, hey, I'm scratching your back. I'm expecting referrals back. Like, how does that conversation happen, or does it happen?
And that's a very good point, Carl. I'm glad you brought that up because we also always have to be mindful of the Real Estate Settlement Procedures Act. We never want to approach someone from a quid pro quo perspective. Hey, if I give you these referrals, you need to give me something of value. The idea is RESPA, as you're probably aware, I'm sure you are, will only allow for the exchange of a referral in response to getting a referral. So that's where it has to be kept. You want to make a referral situation where, by which, if we're referring to you, we're being my company is referring to you, we're hoping that we're going to get some referrals back. But I also think it's important to be mindful of the bigger picture. The bigger picture is customer satisfaction. Because yeah, it's nice if I refer to an insurance agent and that insurance agent refers a customer back to me. That's great. But more importantly to me is my customer going to become so thrilled and so happy by what I did that they're that much more likely to refer customers to me and come back to me and remember my name 2 years, 3 years, 4 years down the line. I had a situation where I refer customers to an insurance agent all the time. I didn't, in the 3 years I was doing this, I don't think I got one referral back, but that was okay because they took care of my customers so effectively that my customers were happy, and that's what meant to me. So I look at a reciprocal referral as a bonus. Number one, you're going to try to do whatever it is you to stand apart from your customers, make sure they continue to remember who you are down the line, because I've met plenty of people who can't remember who their loan originator was 6 months after closing because the loan originator was mediocre at best. You want to do what you can to stand apart from your competition. And these are little things that you could do to achieve just that.
Man, I like it. So how often, how do you maintain a strong relationship with these partners? So like, let's say we're the roofing company, right? So I partnered, and I say partnered up with, you know what I mean? Like,
I know what you mean.
yeah. So when I partner up with the roofing company, and I'm sending them referrals, and perhaps they could send me referrals when they find somebody needs to get a mortgage to help pay for the roof, perhaps. How often do I reach back out, and like maybe I haven't had a referral with them in the past 30 days. Do I touch base with them every 30 days, or once I've vetted them that one time, are we good? Like, what does that look like?
That's also a great, great question because organization is key. As you know, what you do, if a mortgage professional is not organized, they're not going to be successful. So what I would recommend is making a calendar item to follow up at least monthly. Even if you're still sending referrals, you want to find out, hey, how are things going? What can I do to help? Is there anything different? Are there people that I'm sending to you of the kind of people you need? Do you have any working together to come up with ideas how to be mutually rewarding to each other? But the key is, the fine line is, you don't want to become a bother or a nuisance. If someone is extremely busy, let's say a contractor, and they're just very busy doing their work, to be hounded by anybody, a mortgage professional, especially on a regular basis, every week, it's going to get annoying at some point, right? I mean, just
Yeah.
like imagine if you're a loan originator and you have title companies and insurance agents contacting you constantly trying to work with you, that's going to take you away from doing what you need to do. So there's a strategy involved. I would say just every month, a quick email or a quick phone call. I prefer phone calls because I believe in that human connection. Hey, how's it going? How are those referrals working? Is there anything I can do to make it better for you? Is there anything that you need? Has anything changed? Are you going through any new trends that I might need to know about to help know how to bring people that would make your customer be ideal customers for you, how to bring them to you? Just keeping in contact. That's so important because that's top of the mind awareness, right?
Yeah, good stuff. Well, this seems like a pretty simple strategy.
It
It's
really
just
is.
identify if somebody's moving into the area, they don't know anybody. Identify who they might need as a somebody living in the community. Go online, vet out these people, go visit them in person, make sure that everything seems on the up and up.
Do your research for sure,
Yeah,
for sure. Just make sure, because again, you don't want to recommend someone that is going to destroy your reputation in the eyes of that customer. Because as well as I do, people love to complain. They might not be so quick to send a positive review, but if there's something wrong, they're going to be on the phone, they're going to be on Google, they're going to be on Yelp, letting the world know. So you got to just make sure you vet the sources appropriately.
yeah. And I could see that this could be a good source of business. I'm just thinking of an instance for me. I did this with a title company, and oddly enough, title companies tend to be some of my best referring sources to me, because they don't refer me deals necessarily, but they refer me to real estate agents, maybe where something went sideways, they weren't real happy with their current relationship, and they introduced me to those agents. Man, that's been a good thing. That's been a real good thing.
And that's another point that's exceptional. Loan originators often have tunnel vision. They see realtors and real estate agents as the only source of business. There's so many other opportunities out there for business generation. Everybody knows some. Imagine if every customer gave you two referrals, and each of those two referrals gave you two referrals. before you know it, you'd have to have an entire team behind you because you couldn't handle the amount of business.
Yeah.
So these referral sources that we're talking about, and again, I mean, you don't have to let me bring grocery stores. I mean, you're not going to go interview the grocery stores, but you're going to want to walk through the grocery store, right? To make sure it's a nice store. If you're going to recommend the grocery, because remember, people moving into neighborhoods, into new areas, especially if they're out of state or what have you, they don't know in the beginning. They're starting from scratch, and the idea is to make the customer's life as easy as possible.
Yeah. Good stuff, brother.
Good.
Well, man, I think we've unpacked this pretty good, Rich. Is there something I should have asked you that I didn't? Did I miss anything here?
I think we're good. I think we covered everything that your listeners are going to want to hear about, and that will make sense to them. Just the theme is you're only limited by your creativity. So put yourself in the position of the customer. Think outside the box, and you never know who could become your number one referral source.
And Rich, I know you're the director and training senior instructor for AxSellerated Development. What do you guys do over there?
We're a mortgage training company that, for the most part, helps with NMLS exam preparation. Now, we do new loan originator mentoring, we do new loan originator training, sales, customer service, communication training. We definitely do all that. Our primary focus is on helping people prepare to pass the NMLS exam, from affiliated and being affiliated with 20-hour and from being affiliated with NMLS approved education providers to test prep, all the things to do to help people who are trying to pass the exam be part of the 50% overall pass rate.
50% pass rate. I did not know it was that low.
And it's been consistently around 50% for years. And the reasons, I mean, I could go and talk for quite some time about the reasons for it, but I don't think that's as important as knowing that there's a solution. We help people become part of the 50% success rate.
Man, good for you. That's amazing. Dude, I think the bar has a higher pass rate than that. So it just lets you know how hard that there's a lot of moving parts of this. So
there is. The key is preparation, and that's
a great service. So, Rich, if somebody wants to talk to you more, either about the strategy, about what you guys do over at AxSellerated Development, what's the best way for them to contact you?
www.nmlstraining.com. NMLStraining.com. All of our contact information is on the website. All of our products and services are available for review, and we're always happy to speak with anyone who might benefit from our services.
Great stuff. Rich, thanks so much, brother. Appreciate you. And good to see you. Looking forward to your next article, brother.
Hey, sounds great to me.
Hey, gang, thanks so much for listening, and be sure to go check out on the residential side Rich's article. Great stuff. And hey, one more thing, just real quick, on behalf of the Scotsman's Guide and myself, please forward this episode to 3 of your favorite loan officer friends. They'll thank you for it. We certainly thank you for it. And we appreciate you being here. Again, that was Build a One-Stop Shop by Rich Leffler. And we'll see you on the inside of the next episode of Author Showcase. Thanks again, everybody. Bye-bye.